I'm Vidyashri. We study Biological Classification Introduction from the PU1 second chapter Biological Classification. Before going to the details of biological classification, we need to know what is classification. Okay, so consider this example. Here there are the mixture of some vegetables. So looking into this, we can say this is a carrot and this is a beans. If you said by someone to make a separation between these two, you will separate this or you will group these depending upon the external characters of them. Means you look for the color of the carrot and the shape of it, and you will keep aside at one side. Okay, and as well you do same for the beans. You look the green color of the beans, shape of the beans, and you will place it another side. Okay, so what you are doing here, you are separating carrot from beans, looking into the external characters, looking into the characters, the color and the shape, etc. And what you do is nothing but classification. So you can say classification is nothing but grouping of something based on similar and dissimilar characters. You look for same color, same character. You look also for dissimilar, means different types. Okay, so this example will give you some more clear idea, right? So here you can see the number of animals here. If you said to make a separation those having external hairs on their body, what do? You will separate this snake from the remaining. The reason is this is the one which will not have any hairs on its body, and apart from that, this 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 all are having a external hairs on their body, right? So you can say that you are making a separation in this living group, and this is nothing but biological classification. What is biological classification? It is nothing but grouping of living organisms based on their similarities and dissimilar characters. The word meaning biology means living and classification means grouping. So it's nothing but grouping of living organisms based on similar and dissimilar characters. So now question comes, who has developed a scientific method to classify the organisms at the first? The answer for this is Aristotle is a scientist who has classified the organisms in scientific manner. He considered morphological characters, means the external characters he has considered to classify the organism. He looked the shape of the organism, he looked the length of the organism, he looked the blood color of the organism, etc. And he has done two groups under the organisms. The one is plants and another is animals. These are the two groups has given by Aristotle. And further, he has divided the plants into three types depending upon the length of an organism. Okay, so for the small groups he called as herbs, and of medium sized plants he called as shrubs, and of larger size he called as trees. Okay, so likewise for the animals too, he has looked at the blood color and divided into enema and anema type. What is the meaning of enema and anema type? Enema are the one which will be with red blood, right? E. Erythrocytes. Remember in such a manner, to remember E, you consider erythrocytes, right? So, if the organism with the red blood, so that is enema type, and if it is without red blood, so that is anema type, right? So, other than red blood, it will have a blood color. Okay, so that is anema. Enema is the one which will be with red blood. Okay, So this is of Aristotle division who has done in a plants groups and animals groups. Okay, right. The Aristotle classification system will come under a one method of classification or biological classification system. So that is artificial system of classification. So what is the meaning of artificial system of classification? They have just considered the outer characters of an organism. Just external characters they have considered and they classified the organisms. One more scientist will come here. So Carolus Linnaeus. Yes, we have heard his name in the earlier classes. Carolus Linnaeus is a famous scientist who named as father of taxonomy. He has developed two kingdom classification system and also called as father of taxonomy. Why is called as father of taxonomy? Because he is the one who has used taxonomical hierarchy, right? So taxonomical hierarchy he has used. So what is taxonomical hierarchy? It's nothing but a placed or a sequential taxons group. Okay, so you can say it starts with, you can say, systematic classification of organisms through 7 taxons we do, right? It is given by Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus has developed using taxons, especially the 7 taxons he has used to classify the living organisms. Which are those? It starts sequentially either in a decreased manner or increased manner. Example, if you consider from kingdom, if you consider it goes from kingdom to phylum, then to class, order, family, genus, species. These are the 7 categories. Sequentially it will be. Taxon, if you consider, so here kingdom is a one taxon. Taxon is also called as category, right? Okay, so it will be also called as category or also called as rank. Okay, taxonomical hierarchy ranks, if you consider, there will be 7. It starts from kingdom and ends with a species. Highest rank in the taxonomical hierarchy is kingdom and lowest rank in the taxonomical hierarchy is species. Okay, so if you consider using all these, okay, scientist called Carolus Linnaeus has given a scientific name to the organisms, and those scientific names were with the 2 epithets. So one is of genus and another is of species. As we know, genus will be 6th and species is the end, that will be of 7th, right? 7th taxon this is. So if you consider genus, it will be at the first. For example, if you consider the scientific name of humans will be Homo sapiens, right? So here Homo is nothing but genus name and sapiens is nothing but species name, right? So you can say genus name is an epithet will be first and in a scientific name species will be second epithet. Okay, and species will mention a particular type of organism. Yes, so with the 2 epithets the scientific names will be there, so that is called as binomial nomenclature. What is binomial nomenclature? Nomenclature means it is nothing but naming of organism. Okay, systematically naming of organism is called as nomenclature, and bi means 2, right? So with the 2 epithets the organisms are named, so they are nothing but binomial nomenclature. What is binomial nomenclature? It's a method of naming of organisms systematically with 2 epithets. It's called as binomial nomenclature, and this is developed by a scientist called as Carolus Linnaeus. Okay, then confusion comes. Then what is 2 kingdom classification system? 2 kingdom classification system is nothing but it is also developed by Carolus Linnaeus. Here he has mentioned two groups under organisms. Okay, he made two groups under organisms. Okay, and that is nothing but two kingdom classification system. Which are those? The plant is one group and Animalia is the another group, which is mentioned by Carolus Linnaeus. Looking into this, we feel that it's similar to Aristotle classification. Then why has done this? Yes, question comes. And the answer for this is Aristotle has mentioned the same groups, but he not used any taxons. But if you consider Carolus Linnaeus, he used 7 taxons to group the organisms completely. From a whole large group, he brought them into a particular type, that is in a species. Okay, so compare with the Aristotle and Linnaeus, you can say the Linnaeus has divided or grouped the organisms or classified the organisms in more systematic manner and completely by using taxonomical hierarchy. But Aristotle not done that. Okay, so this is what you will come to know under two kingdom classification system that is given by Carolus Linnaeus. And one more, I have told here that species. What the species is, we need to know, right? The species is nothing but a particular or a specific group of an organism which will show a similar characters with respective to species. Okay, is nothing but what is species? You can say a group of living organisms with the similar characters with respective to species, and they can cross and can reproduce fertile offspring. Right? I have told the fertile offspring. What is the meaning of fertile? Fertile is the one which is able to reproduce further. It will have a ability or potentiality to develop or to reproduce a organism. Okay, when a species of one type crosses with a species of same type, okay, so that will reproduce a offspring, and that offspring will be with a fertile nature. So here a species is nothing but a group of organisms will show a similar characters and can cross and reproduce the fertile offspring. Okay, right. So next, if you consider, I have to discard these to see neatly whatever further are remaining, right? So are we using this binomial nomenclature till today? Yes, we are using. Then are we using the two kingdom classification system? No, we are not using two kingdom classification system. Why we are not using? The reasons are this system had many disadvantages, right? Disadvantages were many, right? What all the disadvantages were there? I have told here Carolus Linnaeus too has considered morphological characters to classify the organism. The difference is than Aristotle has considered some more features, and also he has used taxons, which was more scientific manner, a complete scientific manner to classify the organism. Okay, but the disadvantage was this: it not at all tried to make a difference between unicellular organisms from multicellular. Okay, we know what is meaning of unicellular and what is multicellular. Example, if you consider amoeba and humans, he placed amoeba as well as humans under the same groups. Okay, under the same group he has placed, so this was wrong, right? He has to separate the unicellular from multicellular, but he has not done it, so it is rejected for this reason. Not only for this reason, he also had a one more disadvantage, that he not at all separated the organisms from photosynthesis group, and non-photosynthetic group. Okay, he placed the autotrophs as well as heterotrophs under the same group. Example, if you consider dinoflagellates. Okay, dinoflagellates are the one which can prepare their own food. Diatoms we say. Okay, these are the one they can prepare their own foods. Heterotrophs example, if you consider fungi, for example, these are heterotrophs, right? These cannot prepare their food. They are totally depending upon the dead and decay materials. Okay, all together he kept under the same group, and this was the disadvantage of Carolus Linnaeus two-kingdom classification system. The third, if you consider, he not differentiated prokaryotes from eukaryotes. We know the meaning of pro means a primitive, right? So karyote is nothing but a nucleus, the one which will be without nuclear membrane, so that will be prokaryote. And the eukaryotes are the one for their nucleus, they will have a nuclear membrane. Okay, so he placed the amoeba as well as the bacteria under the same group. Yes, so he not at all differentiated the one which is with a nuclear membrane, the one which is without a nuclear membrane, simply has kept under the same group. Okay, and he not considered the composition of the cell wall, etc. So these all were the disadvantages. Not only this, there were some organisms not at all showed these two characters. Means those there are the organisms had a different characters. If you consider under the plants, if you consider under the animals, they will not come, but they show a different characters than these two, and hence there was a need of further development in a classification system. And after Carolus Linnaeus, many scientists has tried to give us some more scientific method of classification. Okay, and we are using one among those, and which is that as a question, and we discuss that in a next video. I hope you understood the class, and whatever the pictures I have used here may help you to remember the concepts, to understand the concepts easily, and share this video with your friends. Discuss the concepts with your friends, and that will help you, and refer the more books will help you to remember, to understand the concepts. I hope you like this video, and share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.